Welcome to Vintage Variety. Welcome to Vintage Variety. Today I have a kinda haul. What you see in front of you are all pieces that I have either repaired, repurposed, or made out of loose beads and jewelry scraps. If you're always thinking about what can I do with that single earring or those loose beads, or if it's something that you don't really like, today's content will hopefully give you a lot of creative ideas. I wanted to start with this necklace. I showed this in content a while back. This is a more modern necklace, and I really don't like the way this is made. You can see that it's multiple layers in the front, then it has these really large beads at the top, and this big, heavy, chunky chain at the back. I loved the beads on this, and that is why I thrifted it. I think I paid like $3 for this, and that's a lot of beads for $3. So I wanted to take the beads from this necklace and recreate them and turn them into something that I felt would be a little bit more stylish and wearable. A few more items I decided to incorporate along with these beads were some single earrings that didn't have mates to them, such as this butterfly earring. I got out some loose pendants and things like that. And I also had a bracelet. This bracelet is part stretch and part chain, but the stretch is just about gone in it. So I decided I would also cut it apart and figure out a way to incorporate it into something new. I ended up making two different necklaces and a pair of earrings. This is the first one I wanted to show you guys. Remember that bracelet that I said was part stretch and part chain? I decided to take that apart, and I incorporated one of the pieces from the bracelet into a pendant for this necklace. That piece originally had a howlite bead in the center. I simply removed that and replaced it with one of these sparkly beads that was from the original necklace. I also incorporated the silver tone beads from that bracelet into this necklace to go with the pendant. I think this looks great, and I will show it to you guys on the necklace stand, but first let's have a look at the second necklace I made. For this necklace, I decided to use that single butterfly earring to make a pendant. I removed the original beads that were on the earring and replaced them with beads that matched the necklace. And this is something that's really easy to do. All you need is a flathead eye pin and some jewelry pliers. Often when I run across single earrings that are in good condition and I really like the design of them, I will put those aside in my crafting supplies and just take a day, sit down, and start turning them into pendants. So if you've got a lot of single earrings that you think are really pretty, that's a really good idea. While I was designing this, I realized that that bracelet that I had cut apart to use pieces off of had two butterflies on it, and I thought, you know what, I can actually take those two small butterflies and make a pair of earrings to go along with this necklace. Now let's have a look at these pieces on the necklace stand. I really like the way that this set turned out, but you guys can let me know what you think in the comments. It just goes to show that a lot of times when you have loose beads or broken bits and pieces, you can always incorporate them into something new and unique of your own design. I also like the fact that I was able to use up a lot of parts from that bracelet just in making two necklaces and one pair of earrings. This is the other necklace, and I wanted to show these two layered together on the necklace stand. I think they look great layered. They would also look great worn individually, and either necklace could be worn with the butterfly earrings. That's the great thing about making your own jewelry. If you have a lot of materials, you can make multiple pieces that can be mixed and matched. As I was going through my stash of broken bits and pieces of jewelry, I ran across this long piece of chain. I don't know if this was originally a necklace or not, but I thought, you know what, this will make a really cute bracelet. It simply wasn't large enough, so what I did was I added some jump rings on each side of the chain along with a clasp, and there you have it. I have a brand new bracelet. Now let's talk about pearls. I had an abundance of loose pearls here. Some of them I had thrifted, and some of them had been sent to me by my friend Dana Stewart Coates over at Killer Queen Antiques. If you guys don't watch her, you really should. She also sent me this single sterling silver earring with a beautiful amethyst in the front of it. I decided it was about time I did something with all of these different pieces, and I had quite a few ideas. These are pearls that I harvested from a necklace I thrifted recently, or rather I think I may have gotten it out of a jewelry bag. I really can't recall. But it was strung too tight, and I decided that those pearls would go really great with this single mother of pearl earring. I thought this was a really beautiful earring, and I had set it aside because I wanted to find a use for it. Wasn't really sure if I was going to turn it into a pendant or not, but I decided that this would make a great pendant for those pearls. Another necklace that I had, this was also sent to me by Dana over at Killer Queen Antiques, and this is a beautiful potato pearl necklace. The only problem with this is you can see where it's coming apart. Now, I will tell you guys that I did try my hand at restringing this back the way it originally was, but that wasn't a talent that I have. Despite trying, I just couldn't get it right. All of the threads were kind of crisscrossed through the pearls. I think that if someone was really good at doing like beadwork, they could have done it, but I couldn't. So I decided to take those pearls apart and repurpose them and incorporate them into something new. For the peacock colored pearls, they have a purple tint to them. So what I decided to do was to individually knot these, and I knotted these on black silk cording. I also decided to take that earring and take the top part off of it and turn it into a necklace pendant for these pearls. Now, I will say I am not very good at knotting pearls. You can see that these aren't knotted as tight as I would have liked. There are a lot of different methods you can use to knot pearls. You can also buy a bead knotting tool like this one. And this was my first time using this, so I don't really have the technique down. But you can also use a pair of tweezers, preferably a pair like this that have the really skinny tips on the end. And there are tons of videos out there on how to knot pearls. I'm not going to do a full demonstration on pearl knotting techniques. I may consider doing a video on that later on. But I suggest if this is something you're interested in, just get on YouTube and put in the search engine how to knot pearls or how to knot beads, and there are tons of videos that will pop up for you. It's a matter of choice. You don't necessarily have to knot pearls. You can always just string them. You can put spacer beads between them or just string them straight. But I feel like this is okay. I do like the way it turned out. I did mention that Dana from Killer Queen Antiques had sent me quite a few crafting items and loose pearls, and I'll put a link to her channel in the description box below this video in case you haven't watched her yet. The inspiration for this necklace came from, I believe it was season 2 of Downton Abbey. That was the season where they were wearing a lot of the flapper style clothing and jewelry from the 1920s. And one of the characters had on this beautiful flapper length necklace that was done in what appeared to be white pearls and some type of dark smaller beads. Not sure what those beads were, but I did think that to combine pearls and maybe black spinel would be a really beautiful look. This necklace is not flapper length, it is a longer length. I simply didn't have enough spinel to do a full flapper length necklace. But the great thing about it is I had just enough spinel beads left over that I could combine them with some of those pearls and make a matching pair of earrings. I am just thrilled with the way this turned out, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on the necklace stand. This is a longer length of necklace, not quite flapper length. So I took it up on the necklace stand so you guys could get a better look at it. But I think the combination of the black spinel beads and these white pearls is just absolutely elegant. The gray pearls that I thrifted that were strung too tight were absolutely perfect to combine with that single mother of pearl earring. And this is something that's really easy to do, especially if it's a kidney wire type earring. All you have to do is remove the kidney wire and add a jump ring, and you have an instant pendant. One thing I really loved about this earring were the colors in it. It has a really pretty color of brown. It has some hints of gray and even some hints of what I would say is almost a bluish purple color. I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. One thing I will tell you about those pearls is they were very irregular when it came to size and shape. So once I removed them from the original stringing material, I just kind of picked through them and picked out all of the pearls that I felt were going to be close in size, because I did want this necklace to look kind of uniform. And I still have some pearls left over that I could probably make a bracelet or a pair of earrings out of. Now that I've got this on the necklace stand, the lighting's a little better and you can probably see the different tones of color in the earring turned pendant. There's just enough bluish gray colors in this that it goes right with the pearls. I did think about knotting these pearls. My first thought had been to use some chocolate brown silk and knot these pearls on it, and I think that would have been really pretty too. But instead, I decided to go a different route and just put them all together on the cording. I think this is one of my favorites out of all of the ones that I did. You guys let me know what you think of this one in the comments. The broken potato pearl necklace, which was another item that Dana was kind enough to send to me, I harvested the pearls and the silver tone beads from that necklace. And this is what I was able to make. I made this triple strand bracelet, and this was something new for me. I was just kind of exploring the different types of items I could make. I've never made a triple strand bracelet before, and now that I've done it and I've seen how easy it is, it's something that I will probably repeat in the future. I also made a single strand bracelet, and I'm very pleased with the way this one turned out. I had a lot of pearls left over, so I made a single strand pearl necklace. This goes very well with both of those bracelets. And I still had pearls left over, so I decided to make 2 pairs of earrings. This first pair, you can see I incorporated a silver tone bead from the original necklace at the bottom. For the second pair of earrings, I incorporated more pearls to create more of a dangly type earring. Let's have a look at all these pieces together on the necklace and earring stand. From that one necklace, I was able to create an entire parure, plus an extra pair of earrings and an extra bracelet. And believe it or not, I still have some of those pearls left over, probably enough to make several other pairs of earrings, or maybe enough to make an additional bracelet. As I was going through all of those bits and pieces that I've saved over time, I ran across this piece. I will tell you guys, I don't hold on to pieces that I save forever. After about a year or so, if I haven't done anything with them, I usually lot them all together and I list them on eBay. But this piece really caught my eye. I think it may have been a necklace at one time, or perhaps even a bracelet. But there's only 4 pieces left of this, and you can see how they're kind of hooked together with these, what appears to be leather pieces. So I left this out, determined that I was going to figure out something I could do with it. Then I ran across this, and I have had this for quite some time. I decided to combine the 2 pieces together and make a really neat looking pendant. This pendant went perfectly with some purple moon glow beads that I had managed to salvage from a piece of a broken necklace. And I believe it may have been like a multi-strand necklace, because there were enough beads to make a decent sized beaded necklace. I have to say that I think this is both beautiful and unique. And that just goes to show, if you get all of those broken bits and pieces and just lay them out and start brainstorming, there's just no telling what kind of fabulous designs you can come up with. I got this at an antique store a while back, and I don't even think that it was originally a necklace pendant. Someone put a jump ring on it and added it to a copper tone chain. So I definitely wanted to put a chain on this that would match. And that's when I thought about this broken owl necklace. You can see that the owl pendant is missing an entire wing. And I'm still going to save parts from this for projects later on. But I did want to harvest the chain from this. I thought this chain would be perfect to add to this silver tone pendant. Look what a difference just switching out the chain on this made. I already mentioned that I don't really think that this was a necklace pendant to begin with. I believe it may have been part of something else, or maybe even a brooch at one time or the other. Someone had just added a copper colored jump ring and a copper colored chain to this, and they really didn't look right together. This little pendant piece is actually silver toned, so I felt like it really needed a silver toned chain attached to it. This is a triple strand vintage necklace with a decorative rhinestone clasp. This one is marked as Vintage Japan, and I just love necklaces like this. Anytime they have a really pretty decorative clasp, I always like to wear it to the side because I feel like the clasp was meant to be seen. This one I didn't really have to do a lot to. I've held on to this for quite some time, and I don't really know what took me so long to get around to repairing this. But this one had came loose from the clasp. All the pieces were still there. So all I really had to do to this was use my jewelry pliers to carefully reattach the strands. This necklace was another repair. I got this out of a jewelry bag I purchased at one of my local thrift stores, and the cording on this necklace had broken. I was very fortunate that it still had the original barrel closure attached. So when I restrung this necklace, I was able to reincorporate that closure. This necklace was originally strung on what looked to be cotton cording, and I didn't feel like that would be strong enough because this is a very heavy necklace. So when I restrung it, I opted to use flexible wire cording. I felt like it would hold up a lot better than cotton or silk cording. By the way, if you're not familiar with this type of necklace, they've been around for ages, and they were originally made out of gifted beads or random leftover beads. This is called a beggar's bead necklace. I believe this one, by the looks of it, is probably from the 1970s. A lot of people like to wear these for good luck, but it's also believed to have healing properties. They can be made out of a random mixture of different types of stones, such as quartz, rose quartz, agate, you name it, it's endless. And that's where the idea of it having healing properties comes in. This necklace was made out of loose random beads that I had in my stash of jewelry supplies. These are vintage pearls, purple glass beads, and yellow toned pearls with gold toned spacers. This last necklace was a redo. This was a more modern necklace that I purchased at one of my thrift stores, and it was one of those wire necklaces. It had 3 strands, and if you've ever ran across that type of necklace, you'll know that each strand has just a few beads with crimps in between them so they won't slide around. And then the remainder of the necklace strand is just exposed necklace wires. I've talked about it before. I'm not really crazy about that type of necklace, but I really loved the beads on this one. So I decided to take all of the beads off of those strands and combine them together to make one single strand necklace. I thought this was a really pretty combination of colors, and I think this would be a great necklace to wear during the summertime. So let's have a look at this last and final necklace on the necklace stand. Here's a look at this on the necklace stand, and I really like the way this turned out. All of the beads on this strand came from one single necklace. And one thing I don't like about wire necklaces is they're so easy to get tangled up. But done this way, this necklace can still be worn with multiple necklaces. It can be layered together with different colors of beads or even gold chains. Just using loose beads, random scraps, and bits of broken jewelry, I was able to create a lot of new and unique pieces. Hopefully, all of the items I shared with you guys today will give you some great ideas for creating pieces of your own. You guys let me know in the comments which pieces were your favorites, and if you enjoyed today's content, please remember to give me a thumbs up. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to share these items with me. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. Ring the bell for notifications, and you'll be notified anytime I upload new content. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.